Hello, Booktube. Welcome to Litmas Day 3, the best book you've read this year. We have a guest. So this is a little tough, as it's probably meant to be. This is a project created by Strip Cover Lit. I did it last year. Enjoyed it very much. Like I say, it imposes a discipline to get videos out every day, and the questions are always wonderful. If they're wonderful, but they make you struggle, or at least me, they make me struggle a bit, but that's good. So I will provide links below. I always say that, and I hope I do it. So I bandied this one around a bit. I had some nonfiction contenders, rather older books, Bruce Catton, The Coming Fury, which I really loved this year. I read that. He was an author my father very much enjoyed, and I remember the volumes always being around the house. I read some Patrick O'Brian. Unbelievably good. But I didn't choose the Patrick O'Brian for several reasons, and hopefully the coming year will make the reasons for that clear. But I read some fantasy authors for the first time this year, and they were, I almost chose them. The first was this Patrick Rothfuss, The Name of the Wind. Just that old beat up paperback here. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was wonderful. I've never read anything else by this author, and I will. But I didn't choose it. And the other one, and I'm obviously got a long way to go on this. This is the first volume of the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, The Way of Kings. And I like this one for very, very different reasons than I like the Patrick Rothfuss. But they were both excellent, and I'm glad to make their acquaintance. What I chose instead was a space opera, a subgenre of science fiction that I've read forever. And this author I have not. And the story, it's not unusual in space opera to have, you're somewhat far into the future. You usually have a galactic empire. You usually have large space fleets that use sort of the naval nomenclature of our day. And a lot of times, you have an imperial structure that's reminiscent of perhaps the British Empire or something like that, where you have titled people, you have royal families, you have diplomatic intrigue, you have all these. So these are elements that I associate with space opera. And this volume that I chose has all of those. And it has a woman who comes from a Navy family with a long tradition. And she gets caught up in politics and money and all the things that make for a galactic intrigue and a space opera setting and story. So the one I chose is Harris Serrano by Elizabeth Moon. Now this is comprised of a trilogy. This originally was published as Hunting Party, Sporting Chance, and Winning Colors. And this was the first publishing of the trilogy in a single volume. There are more after this volume. So what I read was Hunting Party, and I'll just read you a little bit of the book flat. Harris Serrano is an officer from a family with a long tradition of distinguished service in the fleet. But when a treacherous superior gets her booted from the regular space services, she is forced to find civilian employment. That's how she becomes a captain of a rich old lady's interstellar luxury yacht. But for someone who grew up around ships with time-honored names, the sweet delight, along with the garish uniform she's issued, just adds insult to injury, or so she thinks. As it turns out, Lady Cecilia, her well-born employer, is full of surprises. When Cecilia's spoiled nephew and his friends get trapped on an island where a secret society hunts people like wild animals, she risks her life to help Harris rescue the youngsters and put a stop to the blood sport. But that's only the beginning of their adventures. One of the hunters is the Crown Prince, a bright young man who seems suddenly to have gone dim. When Cecilia is poisoned to keep his condition secret, Harris uncovers a plot against the royal family and a conspiracy within the fleet itself. For whoever controls the fleet controls the galaxy. Before it's all over, Harris will be given a chance to rejoin her beloved space navy. I don't think they'd want to be called lovely. If she can manage to stop an invading armada with only one destroyer, 2 PT boats, 1 ore scow, and oh yes, an old lady space yacht. Impossible? Not for Harris Serrano. So this is adventure. And if you like space opera, if you like the Forkosigan novels by Lois McMaster Bujold, if you like E.E. Smith, Doc Smith, if you like those sorts of things, if you like Star Wars, anything with big fleet actions, far-flung future, constant adventure, then this would be something you would like. So, yeah, Harris Serrano by Elizabeth Moon would be my choice for Litmas Day 3. And I hope everybody's having a great weekend. And thank you, Booktube.